The education provided by society operates in two directions at once. It suppresses every nonconformist tendency through penalties of withdrawal of support, and simultaneously imbues the individual with values that force him to overcome and discard spontaneous desires. These conditions cause the majority of adults today to live behind a mask of personality that the individual tries to present to others and to himself. Every aspiration and spontaneous desire is subjected to stringent internal criticism, lest they reveal the individual's organic nature. Such aspirations and desires arouse anxiety and remorse, and the individual seeks to suppress the urge to realize them. The only compensation that makes life durable, despite these sacrifices, is the satisfaction derived from society's recognition of the individual who achieves its definition of success. The need for constant support by one's fellows is so great that most people spend the larger part of their lives fortifying their masks. Repeated success is essential to encourage the individual to persist in this masquerade. This success must be visible, involving a constant climb up the socioeconomic ladder. If he fails in the climb, not only will his living conditions become more difficult, but his value will diminish in his own eyes to the point of endangering his mental and physical health. He can scarcely allow himself time for a vacation, even if he has the material means. The actions and the drive that produces them, necessary in order to maintain a mask free of flaws and cracks, lest he be revealed behind it, do not derive from any basic organic needs. As a result, the satisfaction derived from these actions, even when they are successful, is not a revitalizing organic satisfaction, but merely a superficial external one. Very slowly, over the years, a man comes to convince himself that society's recognition of his success should and does give him organic contentment. Often enough, the individual becomes so adjusted to his mask, his identifications with it so complete, that he no longer senses any organic drive or satisfactions. This can result in the revelation of flaws and disturbances in the family and sex relations that may always have been present, but that have been glossed over by the individual's success in society. And indeed, the private organic life and the gratification of needs deriving from strong organic drives are almost unimportant to the successful existence of the mask and to its social value. The great majority of people live active and satisfactory enough lives behind their masks to enable them to stifle, more or less painlessly, any emptiness they may feel whenever they stop and listen to their heart. Not everyone succeeds in occupations that society considers important to the degree that enables them to live a satisfactory mask life. Many of those who fail in their youth to acquire a profession or trade that would offer them sufficient prestige to maintain their mask lives claim that they are lazy and have neither the character nor the persistence to learn anything. They try their hand at one thing after another, switch from job to job, invariably considering themselves nonetheless fit for whatever may turn up next. This confidence in their own abilities gives them sufficient organic satisfaction to make each stab at something new worth the effort. These people may be no less gifted than others, maybe even more so, but they have acquired the habit of disregarding their organic needs until they can no longer find genuine interest in any activity. They may happen to stumble upon something at which they may last longer than usual and even attain a certain proficiency. But it will still be a chance that has given them an occupation and thereby a foothold in society that will justify their own assessment of their worth. At the same time, their precarious self-regard will drive them to seek success in other spheres, as likely as not in promiscuous sex. This promiscuity, which parallels their constant changing of jobs, is activated by the same mechanism of belief in some special gift of their own. It raises their value in their own eyes and again gives them at least partial organic satisfaction, enough in any event to make it worth their while to try again. Self-education, which as we have seen is not altogether independent, also causes other structural and functional conflicts. Thus, many people suffer some form of disturbance in digestion, elimination, breathing, or bone structure. Periodic improvements in one of these malfunctions will bring about improvement in the others, and increased general vitality for a time, followed in almost every instance by a period of lowered health and spirits. It is obvious that of the three factors determining a man's general behavior, self-education alone is appreciably subject to will. The question is really to what extent, and most particularly, in what way one can help oneself. Most people will choose to consult an expert, the best answer in serious cases. However, most people do not recognize the need, nor have they any wish to do so. In any case, it is doubtful whether the expert will be of much use. Self-help is, in the final instance, the only way open to everyone. This way is hard and complicated, but for every person who feels the need for change and improvement, it is within the limits of practical possibility, bearing in mind that several things must be clearly understood to make the process the acquisition of a new set of responses not too difficult. It must be fully realized from the start that the learning process is irregular and consists of steps, and that there will be downs as well as ups. This applies even to a matter as simple as learning a poem by heart. A man may learn a poem one day and remember almost nothing of it the next. A few days later, and without any further study, he may suddenly know it perfectly. Even if he puts the poem entirely out of his mind for several months, he will find that brief rehearsal will bring it back completely. We must not become discouraged, therefore, if we find we have slipped back to the original condition at any time. These regressions will become rarer and return to the improved condition easier as the learning process continues. It should be further realized that as changes take place in the self, new and hitherto unrecognized difficulties will be discovered. The consciousness previously rejected them from fear or because of pain, and it is only as self-confidence increases that it becomes possible to identify them. Most people make sporadic attempts to improve and correct themselves, even though they are often done without any clear awareness of it. The average person is satisfied with his achievements and thinks he needs nothing except some gymnastics to correct a few acknowledged faults. Everything that has been said in this introduction is in fact addressed to the average man, that is, to the man who thinks none of it concerns him. As people try to better themselves, different stages of development can be found in each of them. And as each one progresses, the means for further correction will have to become increasingly fine-spun. I have outlined in this book the first steps on this road in considerable detail to enable readers to go even further under their own power. So again, that's the preface to Awareness Through Movement by Moshe Feldenkrais. I'm going to keep reading through this book, one passage at a time, and I'll be putting out another video, a little bit of discussion of some of the key ideas in the preface that I just read. So look for that. And we'll see how this goes. I hope you enjoy it. Love to get your comments on the text, any questions that you have about it, and see you soon. Take care.